Kiyoshi Kurosawa is a Japanese director most known for his films Cure and Pulse. Both are great and I would highly recommend, but today I want to discuss his 2024 short film titled Chime. This is a 45-minute horror film that is about a culinary arts teacher who is awoken by a sound that fills him with dread. Even having only seen a few of Kurosawa's films, I feel confident in saying he is a master at directing horror. I thoroughly enjoy his personal style and approach to the genre. When so many films rely on cheap jump scares and generic formulaic stories, Kurosawa is way more interested in building atmosphere and creating prolonged sequences of dread, anticipation, and suspense that leave you feeling uncomfortable, perplexed, and disturbed. And his stories are rich and deep, dealing with thought-provoking themes and ideas. I'll be honest, there are some elements in his films I don't fully understand, or scenes where I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to communicate. But even these scenes are captivating, because every shot, every movement of the camera, and every sound feels intentional and meaningful. And I know there is purpose behind it all, even if I'm not completely sure what the purpose is. Chime opens with our main character, the teacher, Matsuoka, teaching a cooking class to high school students. One of the students, who is antisocial and disengaged from the group, mentions hearing a sound. He calls it a chime, and he says it sounds like screaming. We quickly gather through this student's behavior and his conversations with Matsuoka that he seems to be mentally unwell. It isn't long afterwards where Matsuoka begins hearing the sound of the chime as well, leading to horrific results. What Kurosawa does so well in this film is build anticipation through slow camera movements and careful shot selection. And then he unleashes the gut punch of horror that completely knocks the wind out of you. I feel like a lot of times in horror films, even when it is building suspense well, you often know what it's building to. But here, Kurosawa is able to build the suspense, and it's presented in such a mysterious way you don't know what's going to happen. And then, when it finally does, it is truly shocking. But then sometimes, he bypasses the anticipation and drops a horror bomb on you without warning, which is also equally shocking. One of the things I love about his directing style, which is very prevalent in Chime, is he films these horrific scenes of violence just so matter-of-factly. Like there's no overly exaggerated style to it. No quick-cut editing, no close-ups of the gore. It's all presented in this coldly objective way, often in extended, uninterrupted takes, and we're forced to watch like a bystander who just happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. We see it how we would if we were really standing there, and this makes it feel all the more real. The violence is brutal and deeply distressing. What I also really appreciate about Kurosawa is his shot selection. It's not often a director films a scene in such a way where I think to myself, what wasn't shown in that scene is equally as important as what was shown. He knows what not to show the audience and what to show us, as well as when to show us. There's a scene around the 27 to 28 minute mark where a character says they saw something in the corner of a classroom, but there clearly isn't anything there. However, once the camera pans away from the corner and back towards our characters' faces, we see their reactions of pure terror. This scene really creeped me out when you see it in its full context, which also includes the sound design. It was extremely effective, and we never do see what the characters see. Sometimes what we don't see is just as scary, if not scarier, than what we do. I also admire his efficiency. A casual observance, it would seem like there isn't much special about how his films are shot. They're more patient, slower camera movement, often wider shots with longer takes. But what he does is very efficient, because it seems like he's trying to present his films with the least number of shots needed. Now, this isn't always the case for every scene, but it certainly seems to be for some of them, and I really enjoy this approach. Case in point, the scene I just mentioned a moment ago, Kurosawa sets up the scene and shows you all you need to know and does it all in one uninterrupted and perfectly choreographed take, achieving maximum impact. It's efficient and effective, the sign of a master. I haven't even mentioned the sound design in the film yet, which honestly might be the best part. The sound in the film is practically a character in and of itself. We witness the effects of this sound in Matsuoka's life, and we see him slowly deteriorate mentally, and Kurosawa hurls a barrage of sounds at us. I believe these help convey the mental state of our main character. So many different types of sounds, often louder than they should be or more obtrusive than they typically would be. We even hear sounds we wouldn't normally hear in certain settings and situations. And there's even a scene where there is this high-pitched frequency that I could just barely make out, there probably for no other reason than to mess with us. All of this there to fully immerse us into Matsuoka's headspace. The sound design is a bombarding assault on our ears, but in the best and most effective way. Now, what does this all add up to? Well, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure. The film doesn't give us clear-cut answers. I was somewhat uncertain about the ending, and even what exactly Kurosawa was trying to say throughout the film. This isn't really a criticism, though. I think the ambiguity works here, as I think there are a couple different takeaways you could have. It's presented and set up in a way where I didn't need a clear-cut answer, as the answer isn't the main point. It's more about the experience, the mystery, and the thoughts and theories you have along the way. Well, that's all I got for you today. If you've seen this film, I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, I greatly appreciate it. If you got anything out of this video, go ahead and do me a favor and do not hit that subscribe button unless you want to be haunted by the beard.